Leora Vale's smile was the last thing anyone saw before the forest swallowed screams. The wind howled like a living thing through the gnarled trees of Ashwood Forest. Leora walked ahead, her eyes scanning the dark underbrush with unsettling calm. Behind her, Eamon Crow cursed under his breath, stumbling over roots. "Why are we even here? This place is cursed," he muttered. Leora's lips curved into that faint, unnerving smile. "Cursed," she whispered. "No, just misunderstood." Finn Ashwood, their reluctant guide, halted and shined his lantern into the mist. Shadows danced, twisted shapes flickering in and out of sight. "Keep moving," he said, voice tight. "The deeper you go, the harder it is to turn back." A sudden rustle in the bushes made everyone freeze. Leora's smile widened, almost inviting the unseen watcher. Eamon grabbed her arm. "Stop smiling! It's not funny!" But Leora didn't stop. She stepped closer to the source of the sound. A faint whisper seemed to echo between the trees. "Go, or stay forever." Leora tilted her head, curiosity gleaming in her eyes, the calm in her face a stark contrast to the terror around her. From the darkness a low growl rose, like metal scraping on stone. Something massive moved, too fast to see clearly, but it was coming. Leora's smile never faltered. "It's curious," she said softly. "Curiosity always invites danger." Before Eamon could protest, a shadow lunged, and the forest erupted in chaos. Finn shouted, but his words were swallowed by the night. Leora stepped back, calm, almost welcoming the attack, her smile now terrifyingly wide. And then silence, too complete, too heavy, settled over Ashwood Forest, broken only by the faint echo of a girl's laughter. The forest seemed to breathe around them. Every step Leora took stirred the mist like smoke, curling around tree trunks and leaving trails of shadow. Eamon's panic was palpable. His eyes darted to every twisted branch, every flicker of movement. "This isn't natural," he whispered. "Nothing here. Nothing should be alive like this." Leora kept walking, her smile never fading. "Alive? Oh, Eamon, you don't understand. Everything here is alive. It just waits for the right moment to show it." Finn tightened his grip on the lantern. "Show what?" he demanded. "The last group that wandered here. They didn't get to find out." He glanced at the footprints disappearing into the fog, remnants of something far larger than any human. A guttural growl vibrated through the earth beneath their feet. The ground trembled, and the shadows shifted. Draven Thorn, though no one knew his name yet, was awake. A hulking silhouette, cloaked in darkness, emerged between the trees. Eyes like molten silver glinted from the void of its face. It moved with a terrifying intelligence, observing, calculating, hunting. Eamon stumbled backward, heart hammering. "Run!" he shouted, grabbing Leora's arm, but she pulled away gently, almost indulgently. "Why run from curiosity, Eamon? It's the only way to truly see." The monster let out a low, resonating roar, reverberating through the forest and shaking loose the dry leaves from the highest branches. It stalked closer, but Leora simply tilted her head, her eyes glinting with something unspoken, a mix of challenge and invitation. Suddenly, Seraphine Cade appeared on a ridge above them. Her robe fluttered in the unnatural wind. "Leora, don't smile at it," she warned. "Once you invite it fully, the forest claims all who linger." But Leora only smiled wider, turning toward the approaching shadow. "I don't invite," she said softly, almost amused. "I understand." Finn swallowed hard, the lantern light flickering as the monster advanced. Branches reached out like skeletal hands, twisting around his ankles. Panic clawed at him, but Leora's calm presence rooted him to the spot. The air thickened, heavy with fear and the scent of moss and decay. And then, with a sudden lunge, the forest seemed to explode around them. Shadows twisted, leaves shredded like paper, and Draventhorn's monstrous form towered over the group. Eamon screamed, but Leora's smile was the last thing he saw before the forest swallowed him. The forest was alive with sound, snaps, roars, whispers that seemed to echo from nowhere and everywhere at once. Leora's calm amidst the chaos unnerved Finn and Eamon more than the monster itself. Every instinct screamed to run, but the girl's smile held them in place, like a hypnotic anchor. Draventhorn circled, massive limbs cutting through fog and foliage. Its eyes, molten silver, seemed to lock on Leora, but there was something familiar in that gaze. Something almost affectionate. Eamon gasped. "It's her! It's like it knows her!" Leora tilted her head, watching the creature with an unsettling serenity. "I think you mean I know it," she murmured, stepping forward. Each footfall made the leaves shiver, each breath seeming to carry the weight of the forest itself. Finn's hand shook on the lantern. She can't control that thing." But Leora only smiled, and the monster halted, tilting its head as if responding to a silent command. "Control? No," she whispered. "It's a companion, an understanding. The forest is angry because it is ignored, but it listens to me." Eamon's fear twisted into disbelief. You're friends with it?" "Not friends," Leora said, her smile sharp as a blade. "Balance. Curiosity demands balance." Suddenly, the shadows stretched, writhing across the ground like living ink. Branches twisted, reaching for Finn and Eamon. Leora raised her hand, her smile unwavering, and the shadows recoiled, retreating like obedient hounds. Seraphine Cade's voice floated from the ridge. "You tempt fate, Leora. The forest does not forgive." "I don't tempt," Leora said softly. "I understand it." She turned fully toward the approaching monster. Its eyes glimmered brighter, and then, slowly, it bowed its massive head. Finn and Eamon could hardly believe what they saw, the terrifying creature of nightmare yielding to the girl's presence. The tension remained, thick and suffocating, but the immediate threat paused, like a storm holding its breath. Leora's smile grew wider, almost triumphant, yet terrifying. "It isn't mine to command," she whispered, "but it knows who I am." A rustle in the underbrush signaled movement. Something, or someone, was watching from deeper within the forest, and as the mist thickened, a new, darker tension began to form. Understanding the monster was only the beginning. The forest held its breath. Mist swirled like smoke, and every shadow seemed to watch, waiting for the final move. Leora stood alone at the center of a small clearing, her smile as sharp as moonlight on broken glass. Finn and Eamon stumbled back, hearts hammering, unsure whether to trust her calm or fear it. Draventhorn, massive and terrifying, lowered itself to the ground. Its silver eyes glimmered, reflecting Leora's face. It was a predator, a nightmare given form. But here it hesitated, tethered by a bond no one else could understand. "Leora, what do we do?" Finn whispered, voice trembling. She turned slowly, her smile widening with something almost cruelly serene. "Do? Nothing. We watch. Some things are not meant to be fought, only acknowledged." A sudden shift in the fog revealed new shapes, twisted roots, spectral branches writhing like serpents, shadows that were almost human. The forest itself was alive, threatening to consume anything unworthy. But the monster stayed still, silent, obedient in the girl's presence. Eamon shook his head. I don't get it. How are you doing this?" Leora stepped forward, her boots sinking slightly into the damp earth. Her smile was terrifying, radiant, a challenge. "Because I'm not afraid. Fear feeds the forest. Curiosity tames it." Then the creature rose on all fours, massive and gleaming in the moonlight, and let out a low, resonant roar. It was both warning and farewell, The shadows recoiled, slithering back into the undergrowth. The mist parted, revealing a path back to the edge of the forest. Finn and Eamon hesitated, staring at Leora. You survived it? Finn asked, disbelief twisting his voice. Leora smiled, faintly this time, almost tenderly. I didn't survive it. I became a part of it. And now, it listens. As the two friends fled, the clearing fell silent. Only Leora remained, alone with the monstrous presence she had calmed. She tilted her head, the last rays of moonlight catching her smile. And in that smile, there was a secret promise, a lingering terror. The forest would wait, and it would remember. The wind shifted. A rustle echoed far behind them. Somewhere, deep within Ashwood, the silver eyes gleamed again. Leora's smile lingered in the night, and the monster disappeared into shadow, patient, eternal, waiting for the next curious soul. And so the forest remained alive, and she, the girl who smiled before the monster attacked, vanished into legend.